What's good, everybody? You're tuned in to the Green Gorilla channel. I'm the G with a PhD. I'm going to duck off here for a second, maybe about a minute or two, and let some people matriculate into the channel. Again, I'm the G with a PhD, and you're tuned in to the Green Gorilla channel, the place where Black men can express themselves freely, straight up, no chaser. I'm going to give it a little bit of time to see if I can get some people to tune in. I know it's a Saturday, so I'm just going to give it a couple of more minutes. What's good, my brother Adam Williams? How you doing? Big Game Orenthal, what's cracking? I'm just giving it a little bit of time before I dig into the subject matter. Huh. My man say it's a challenge to navigate California universities. Man, it's a challenge trying to navigate the world around this time. Salute, Cameron. How you doing, my brother? How are you doing? I'm gonna give it one more minute, and then after that, I'm gonna go ahead and get started. I don't expect a lot of people to chime in today. It's a Saturday, but I felt like I needed to get this off of my chest. He said Ghana will treat me right. Well, today we're not going to even get on the subject of Pan-Africanism or reparations or any of that. Not today. Not today, man. I'm going to leave that and set it aside, compartmentalize that. What's up, my brother Dwayne? Hey, how are you? I don't know what's going on in the overall YouTube world, but please make sure to like the video, share. If you haven't subscribed to the channel already, please do. I assume that you have because you're here, but if it's the case that you just accidentally filtered on in, hit the like button, share, subscribe. So today I want to have a conversation. What's good, Walter Wilder? How are you, my brother? So today I want to have a conversation about an article I read that recently came out. And the article is about loyalty and the assertion that Black women are loyal to Black men. But there's no reciprocity in loyalty on the part of or on behalf of Black men. I mean, you see this theme being articulated again and again and again, that somehow women are overshooting the mark, whereas Black men are missing the mark altogether. Black women are present, but Black men are absent. Black women are doing all the justice work, but Black men are doing no justice work on behalf of women. Somebody's ringing my phone, but I nipped it in the bud. My bad. Sorry about that you had to hear that. But so before I get started, I want to just kind of go through this article, and I want to show the video related to the article, because the article in and of itself is entitled, "What is the prize for Black women's loyalty to the Black men who harm us?" What is the prize for Black women's loyalty to the Black men who harm us? Now, of course, all of this is centered around the recent revelation by Meg Thee Stallion that Tory Lanez did indeed shoot her. What's up, my brother Dusty? How you doing, man? So the idea is that women are very loyal to Black men, but Black men are just screwing up. They're not doing their part. They're not doing their due diligence to ensure that Black women are protected, that they're cared for, that they're provided for, or that they're subjected to justice, meaning that they're not treated unfairly and that they are not treated unjustly. Okay? So the first thing I want to do is I want to kind of go through the contents of this article, and then I'm going to play the video clip from Meg Thee Stallion so you get to see it for yourself. And you can see what she's talking about, and it'll serve as a counterpoint to the main premise of the article. So you won't see me, I can't see you in the chat after I go through this. And, I see Adam Williams put something in the chat basically saying that Black women on Twitter openly talk about Black men like dogs. And see, this is the problem. And I'm going to explain why after I go through this article. The article is very short. It's not a very long article. It's a very short article, okay? But, I mean, to even ask a question, what is the prize for Black women's loyalty to the Black men that harm them? You already know what the answer to that question is. Why ask the question? There is no prize for being loyal to someone who harms you. There is none. There is none. If somebody harms you, that's not loyal to begin with. But the way the question is framed, it's as if Black men are doing nothing but harming women out here. And then when a particular Black woman gets harmed, then the entirety of the group or the demographic of Black men get blamed for it and get told that they're not protecting Black women. And then beyond that, if Black men have a question about the truthfulness or the veracity of a claim that any Black woman has made, then all of a sudden that gets characterized as being disloyal. Because of course, we should just believe them. Now, I don't know what you know. I don't know what you feel. But I believe that both men and women are fallible, that both men and women can make poor or bad choices, that both men and women lie, that both men and women engage in acts of violence towards one another and towards outgroups, towards children, Both men and women have the capacity to do this. Men can be violent to men. Women can be violent to women. Men can be violent to women. Women can be violent to men. Men and women can be violent to children and the elderly. But we're in a situation in which it just seems as though that we're supposed to suspend all doubt just because a woman says something. I don't understand this. It makes no sense to me. I thought we were supposed to be innocent until proven guilty. I thought it was supposed to be a situation in which, we have to check out the details of each case. We don't know what's going on until we actually look into the situation itself to find out what the truth is. Because I've always been told there's three sides to a story. There's one person's side, the other person's side, and then there's the truth. But we're supposed to suspend all doubt and just automatically believe someone just because they so happen to have a uterus or a vagina, and to disbelieve the other person just because he has testicles and a phallus. I don't understand this. So anyway, let me dig into the article, and then you can get some sort of understanding about what this woman is trying to articulate here. And look, this is just a general argument that you're going to find that recurs within the context of the dominant society that we live in. You're going to see this argument over and over and over again. So I'm going to break off here and share the screen, and then I'm going to go over this article. All right. I hope you can see this. If you can't see it, oh well. What is the prize for Black women's loyalty to the Black men who harm us? So the article goes on to say, yesterday evening, Megan Thee Stallion got on Instagram Live and finally confirmed, that Tory Lanez was the man who shot her in both of her feet. She did so after first exposing the extent of her foot injuries in order to quell some of the rumors that she had actually never been shot and was faking her injury for clout. So the confession came in waves. First, Megan tweeted, "Lie one more time and I'm gonna quit sparing you." So I don't know what that's supposed to mean. Apparently, Tory Lanez somewhere has lied about the incident, and Megan seems to be upset about it. So then the article goes on to say, apparently she had enough reason to go public with the truth of what happened to her that night. And on Instagram, she said, now, I'm going to share the screen again, and I'm going to share it in order to show the video of Meg Thee Stallion and what she actually said. So I'm ducking off one more time. Let me go back with this.
Like, I'm so over this shit. And y'all gotta know, I am the nicest, the most calm, just cool ass woman. Like, I don't be fucking with nobody. I don't do nothing to nobody. But y'all motherfuckers really dragging it. Like, I tried to just be cool, Stay out the way, because at the end of the day, I'm really a real bitch. Like, I'm from Houston. I'm from the motherfucking South Side. It ain't like let me go run and tell my business to the motherfucking internet. Let me go run and tell my business to the police. Like, you know what I'm saying? I ain't never been that type of person. Like, but I'm not gonna let y'all keep playing in my face. And I'm not gonna let this nigga keep playing in my face either. So, since y'all hoes so worried about it, yes, this nigga Tory shot me. You shot me. And you got your publicists and your people going to these blogs lying and shit. Stop lying. Why lie? I don't understand. I tried to keep the situation off the internet, but you dragging it. You really fucking dragging it. Motherfuckers talking about I hit this nigga. I never hit you. Motherfuckers was like, oh, she mad because he was trying to fuck with Kylie. No, I wasn't. Like, you dry shot me. Like, everybody in the car, it's only 4 motherfuckers in the car. Me, you, my homegirl, and your security. Everybody in the car arguing. I'm in the front seat. This nigga in the back seat. I get out the car. I'm done arguing. I don't want to argue no more. I get out. I'm walking away. This nigga from out the back seat of the car started shooting me. You shot me. I ain't get cut by no glass, but let me tell you why they saying that. When the police, because the people in the neighborhood, there's a witness. When the police came, because the neighbors called the police, this did not happen at Kylie's house. This happened damn near back at the house I was staying at. I was just trying to get home. We was 5 minutes away from my spot. The police come. I'm scared. All this shit going on with the police is shooting motherfuckers for anything. The police was literally killing black people for no motherfucking reason. Soon as the police tell us all get out the motherfucking car, the police is really aggressive. You think I'm about to tell the police that we niggas, us black people, got a gun in the car? You want me to tell the laws that we got a gun in the car so they can shoot all of us up? Nigga, I'm scared. It's a fucking helicopter over us and some more shit. Why the fuck would I tell the laws somebody got a gun in this car and this nigga shot me? So I can get shot, you can get shot, she can get shot, he can get shot. I ain't tell the police what happened immediately right then because I didn't want to die. I don't want the police to shoot me because it's a nigga with a gun in the car. I'm leaking, I'm bleeding. Motherfucker, somebody, I'm lying, bitch. Did I pay a helicopter to come over me and record my feet leaking blood? No. How the fuck I'm gonna fake that? I didn't tell the police nothing because I didn't want us to get in no more trouble than what we was already about to get in. The fuck? I get to the motherfucking hospital, the police bitch being so rude to me. Well, what's going on? Like, da-da-da-da, you're being detained, da-da-da. Ma'am, I'm being detained, I'm leaking. But I'm still not saying what happened. Shit crazy. The motherfucking doctor, the police finally let me go. I ain't go to jail. Them 3 motherfuckers went to jail. I get to the hospital, the doctors do x-rays on my feet. Oh, ma'am, you got bullets in your feet, got bullet fragments in your other foot. I'm thinking the doctors is the police, so I'm still trying not to tell them, like, no, I didn't know I got shot. You know what I'm saying? I'm scared. Like, I've never been shot before. I don't have to lie about that. Why would I lie? You want me to be a bad person so bad, and y'all motherfuckers want to believe the lie before you believe the truth. Stop trying to come on the internet acting like a black woman, a grown-ass black woman, really got any reason to be lying on another grown-ass black man when all the shit fucked up going on in the world right now. If you really want to tell the motherfucking truth, I've tried to save this nigga. Even though he shot me, I tried to spare him. And y'all motherfuckers is not sparing me. That's crazy. That's fucked up. I go through so much shit on a daily basis anyway. Then to have to get on the motherfucking internet where I'm just trying to make my music, do my shit, pop my shit like the bitch I always been. And I'm trying to save niggas. And y'all on the internet talking about, oh, bitch, you ain't get shot. Oh, bitch, you this. Oh, free tour. That nigga not in jail. He not in jail because I didn't tell the laws what happened as soon as it happened. And I should have. I'm smart. I didn't have to spare that nigga. I don't have to spare nobody, but I did. And I'm done. Y'all asking where people at? Why ain't nobody saying nothing? Ask them why they not saying nothing. I haven't talked to the same people. Y'all worry about where they at. I don't lie. I don't lie. I don't have to lie. Ask that nigga why he not saying nothing. What the fuck he gonna get on here and say? Yeah, I shot her. Why? Tell him why you shot me. No reason. Stop fucking lying on me. Stop fucking acting like black women is the motherfucking problem. Stop acting like black women is aggressive when all they be doing is speaking the motherfucking facts and you motherfuckers can't handle it. Stop spreading lies. Stop getting on the internet acting like this shit your motherfucking diary. Stop lying on people. Truth motherfucking is, bitch, you shot me. You scared to come tell everybody that you fucking shot me, and you got your whole fucking team on the internet lying, trying to cover your motherfucking ass. And I'm tired of it. Stop doing that shit. Stop dragging me, and y'all motherfuckers don't even know what really motherfucking happened. Y'all niggas wasn't there. Y'all motherfuckers be so quick. Oh, but bitch, you a dry snitch. Oh, da-da-da. Ooh, you niggas talk more than bitches do. You niggas gonna tell on other people quicker than a bitch will. So don't ever play in my face like I'm wrong. Y'all niggas don't know no code. Y'all niggas don't know no loyalty. I don't even know where half you motherfuckers be from on the internet. Stop playing with me and don't play in my face no more. Okay? And that was that.
Okay. So let me go back to the article. I'm not gonna say anything until I get
it's time.
Let me get rid of that. So I'm not gonna say anything until I get through the article. Okay? So I'm gonna duck off again. And I'm going back to the article. Because she's basically commenting on the article. Okay? The author of this piece is named Veronica Wells. Okay? She works for Madame Noir. So let me go back to this article. So, what's the prize for black men's loyalty? So anyway, all this is what you see me scrolling through is a transcript of what she just said, okay? So anyway, it goes on to say, Megan was shot over a month ago and held the identity of her shooter until last night. And in her quest, man, that's a strange choice of words, her quest, her journey, her heroic quest to protect a black man from the police, she has become the villain in a story where she's the victim. I can't imagine enduring the trauma of being shot at close range by someone you know, only to have your story used as fodder or questioned entirely. Megan endured 2 sets of trauma, one from Tory's violence and an additional one of having to defend herself to the people of the internet who wouldn't be or couldn't be bothered to have compassion for a black woman in physical, emotional, and psychological pain. The same men who had plenty to say about her lyrical content have gone silent when it comes to violence carried out against her at the hands of a black man in the music industry. Megan deserves tweets, Instagram videos, an entire social media campaign disparaging Tory's actions and lifting her up. But I bet good money that she'll get instead crickets. Sadly, it's not just black men who are adding insult to injury. Black women who have also internalized misogyny are arguing that they need to hear Tory's side as if anything he could or would say would rationalize him shooting a woman inside of a vehicle. Now, let me just say this. Man, there's so many conflicting. If I were a judge or an attorney hearing this shit, I would eat it up. I would eat this up. Did she get shot inside the vehicle or did she get shot outside of the vehicle? You say you're the coolest, nicest, calmest individual in the world, but on the other hand, Y'all were arguing inside of a vehicle. For what? What do cool, calm, and the nicest people in the world have to do with arguing inside of a vehicle? After you just left a party, y'all supposed to be cool as a fan. Everybody's having a good time. What are y'all arguing for inside of a car, a van, whatever it was? What are you arguing for? And if you are arguing, why not make peace and say, look, I'm tired of arguing. Let's just be chill for a minute. Let's be cool. We're going to get to the crib, or I'm going to get to the crib. We're going to talk about this tomorrow. Why leave the vehicle when you're 5 minutes away from your residence? What's the point of getting out of the car? You got to ask questions. Questions have to be asked. Now, I'm not justifying anybody getting shot. That's fucked up. Anybody getting shot, I don't care if they black, white, red, brown, purple, yellow, whatever the case may be, it's fucked up for a person to get shot. It is. I'm not justifying somebody getting shot. But I do want to ask some questions. I do want to know what the hell happened. How do you leave a party and then all of a sudden after you leave a party, everybody seems to be in good spirits? The next thing you know, there's conflict inside of a vehicle. For what? Why? And to even say, well, I need to hear what he has to say in and of itself is somehow misogynistic. We want to know. These are celebrities. We want to know what happened. We want to know what happened. Now, it's one thing if it's this, if this woman is a little nice, little demure little lady who carries herself like a little doll. But we've already seen Megan Thee Stallion talk about how she puts her hands on guys. We already saw the video where she talks about wrapping niggas up. We've already seen it. We've already seen it. So yes, we have questions. We want to know. This woman has already been arrested for domestic violence. Already been arrested for domestic violence. And the funny thing about this to me is, on the one hand, she's saying that she's loyal, but this ain't loyal. Why all of a sudden shift the story now? Because the internet? I scoured the internet to see what Tory has to say about the matter. I mean, scoured it. I looked hours upon hours trying to find information about what Tory and his publicists have said about this issue. I haven't seen anything. Nothing. Nothing. So if he's not saying anything, he's been quiet, but then you say people are saying things, what's being said? Now, personally, somebody shoot me and the police come and I know I did nothing wrong and I'm a woman, I'm telling immediately. Why would I try to protect somebody that just shot me? I don't understand all this. So on the one hand, you observing the G code, but then you don't want to observe the G code because you're getting pressure from social media? Like, that's not how the G code works. I'm confused. I am confused. I am confused. All I want to do is get some answers. Aren't you confused? I'm confused. I am confused. So let me go back to this article, man. Anyway, my heart aches for Megan, knowing that that as she was trying to protect a black man from the police, so many in the community would not step up and show her that same support. It makes you wonder, for all our conditioning to protect, uplift, and cover the black man, what do we get in return? Now, first of all, what in the fuck does this situation have to do with all women protecting black men. I don't understand that. What the fuck does that have to do with the situation? Because the last time I checked, 9 times out of 10, if the domestic violence situation is gotten out of hand, women are calling the police, even if they initiate the fucking violence. I'm not saying that all women that get into these kind of disputes with their partners are calling the police, but a lot of them do. And when the police are called, the men are more likely to go to jail than the woman is, even if the woman started the damn incident. So, I mean, I'm confused about this, all this support. So black women feel like they've been conditioned to protect. She's not protecting Tory Lanez. She's protecting her G image, the G code. She's trying to not snitch. But then you get on social media and then you out here letting it all be known because of social pressure from social media. G's don't look at social media. G's ain't worrying about what's being said in social media. G's ain't capitulating to what's happening on social media, man. Not for real. This is some new shit. I've never seen it in my life. For Megan, with all the fame, money, and influence, it was an internet joke and memes. Questions about her story, theories about her being the aggressor, and now reprimands for her snitching. For Oluwatoyin Salu, who was marching and speaking out on behalf of black men, it was her life at the hands of another black man who raped and tortured her before killing her. And there are thousands of black women whose names we will never know who have suffered and are currently suffering this same twisted fate. What is the point in rallying for black men who have been brutalized or killed by the police only for them to enact violence against us or remain silent when they see it? It's exhausting. I know with the way we've been raised and socialized, it will be difficult, but I would love for black women to abandon the notion that we have to protect the very people who do us emotional, physical, and mental harm, even if they are our brothers. So let me stop. So look here, man. I'm confused. All I hear is this trope again and again and again and again and again that black women are being harmed by black men. I just hear it over and over and over and over and over and over, as if the masses, 20 females times a million, 20 million females, black females, are being summarily, in general, being raped, beaten, and abused by 20 million black men or black males. Explain this to me. Like I just don't understand it. On my channel, I talk over and over again about domestic violence. Who initiates it, how it escalates. Both men and women can initiate it. I'm not saying that men don't do this, but women do it as well. But we don't have the kind of language to talk about that. That's never, ever articulated. All we get is believe her. Believe her. Believe this. I can't believe a black woman would actually be subjected to this. Look here, man, this is the real world. The real world is typically if you put your hands on people, if you're disrespectful to people, if you come with nasty and ignorant and evil energy towards people, you receive that in return. I just don't understand what people don't understand about that. I don't get it. Can you imagine being slapped and punched by a woman and then you're just supposed to just sit there and take it? The man is supposed to take it gracefully because that's what men do. Men allow themselves to be slapped and punched and beat on. That's the only alternative men have, to run. It'd be different if women were actually stepping up and taking responsibility for some of the things that they do. Do men rape women? Yes, they do. Do women rape men? Yes, they do. They rape men and boys. Are women violent in domestic settings? Yes, they are. They're violent towards their intimate partners, whether they be male or female. They're violent towards their children, and they're violent towards the elderly. I'm just sick of the notion you got woman good, man bad, and everything we talk about or discuss related to this issue turns up in the same kind of dialogue and language over and over and over and over and over and over again. Come on now. Come on now. We're not talking about this from a realistic standpoint. We're not being real about this. Anyway, man, support the channel, man. You see the $ in front of the G with the PhD. Support the channel if you can. So ultimately, let me just say this. And I want to make it understood. And that's why I put for the title of this segment. Basically, the mischaracterization of black men as a whole for the actions of some black men, first of all, is a logical fallacy. It's the fallacy of generalization. As if men have a predisposition to harm women just in virtue of being men. This is ridiculous to me. How about human beings have the propensity, whether they be male or female, straight or gay, trans or cis, whatever you want to call it, anybody can commit an act of evil. Anyone. Men or women, straight or gay. We have to come to terms with reality, but it doesn't seem like we are. And you think it is absolutely ridiculous to even think about or to have a concept about doubt? The burden of proof is on the person trying to prove something. We're supposed to be skeptical until we get the evidence, because a person is supposed to be presumed innocent until they're proven guilty, at least in the court of law. But we're supposed to suspend all of that and just come out and say, I believe you, baby. He shot you. We don't know what happened. We still have to hear what he has to say. We have to hear what he has to say. Now, I haven't seen anything on the internet illustrating that this guy said anything. He's been quiet as a church mouse. Quiet as a church mouse. And look, I don't think anybody should get shot. This is not what I'm talking about. This is just using one particular instance and using it in order to extrapolate upon the hordes of black men. Hordes, millions. Because of something that happened to one black woman. And even maybe the other black woman, the woman who was at Black Lives Matter, a feminist, who basically, she held a sign like, I don't need protection. I can handle myself. Maybe you needed to have a man around you so that you wouldn't have got hurt that night and got raped that night. Maybe that's what you needed. Maybe that would have been provided for you if you didn't have, God bless your soul, but if you didn't have this agonistic and antagonistic stance about the quality and the value of black men. Maybe some black man would have been around you so you wouldn't have got hurt. Let me just say this. There is a definition of oppression. Right now, black women are basically and essentially telling the entire world They don't want to have anything to do with us. We're not worth the effort. Okay, cool. Don't step up. Don't protect us. We get killed or shot down in the street. Don't protest. Do not. Especially if while you're protesting, you're talking about, well, what about us? That ain't the time or the place to do that. It's not the time and the place to engage in gender politics if you're hurt. If somebody's dead, it ain't the time and the place to start getting into gender politics. Well, you know, it's also some black women getting killed too. Imagine a black man coming to support Breonna Taylor getting killed, and then all of a sudden he starts talking about, well, we need to focus on black men getting killed too. Come on now. This is what happens when you lead with gender politics. You get into all kinds of absurdities. You get into all kinds of absurdities. Let me just say this. Let me say this. So I know this. Right now, women are declaring, black women, especially black feminists, they're declaring that black men are their oppressors. How's that protecting black men? If you pronounce to the world that black men are oppressors and that you have more to fear among them than you do anywhere else, how is that protecting black men? How is that supporting black men? I would love for a woman to come on here and explain to me how you pronounce to the world that black men are killing you. They're beating you and raping you all over, everywhere. And you to say that that's actually being loyal to black men. If that's all that comes out of your mouth every time there's a chance for you to say it, how is that being loyal to black men? And how is it that you can arrive at a rally? How can you arrive at a rally to support black men? How can you do it? How can you arrive at a rally to support black men and then tell black men you don't appreciate what we're doing for you? And then you get on blogs, you get on radio, you get on the internet, you do everything you can to tell people how horrible black men are. How is that being loyal and protecting black men? I don't understand. I don't see that. I don't get it. The vast majority of black women are doing just damn fine. I know one thing, if you got to continuously tell somebody that you're doing something for them and that they don't appreciate what you're doing for them, you're not doing it for them. You're not doing that for them. You're doing that to get clout. If you have it in your mind that you're going to march and support black men, but then you end up talking about everything else other than black men and their need to be treated respectfully, then you're not doing that for black men. You're doing that for visibility. You're doing that to get attention. Somebody gives you something, they give it to you because they want to give it to you. You don't give somebody a gift or give somebody support and then you remind them again and again and again how much I support you. All I do is support you. All I do is look after you. All I do is help you out. And you ain't about this, and you ain't about that, and you don't do this, and you don't do that. Imagine living with somebody like that. Huh? My suggestion is, if that's how you feel, sit it out. Be quiet. Let us get killed on the street and handle our business for ourselves. That's how I feel. It's gotten to this point. I don't want women to get harmed or hurt. But if you don't want to get harmed or hurt, You got to stay out of harm's way. And you got to keep the men that you're interacting with out of harm's way by respecting the men you're with and learning how to deal with conflict resolution. And stop putting your hands on men. And we can argue the same. Stop putting your hands on women. We can argue that. We can go tit for tat with that. But this very notion, over and over and over and over and over again, we're oppressed by black men. Black men are the white people or black people. Black men are rapists. Black men are killers. Black men are violent. Black men, black men, black men. All we hear, how you gonna go to a rally to support black men and that's the first shit that comes out of your mouth? Explain it. I want a black woman to explain it. Explain it to me. You supporting black men, but the first thing you do, you're speaking with a forked tongue because you supporting, but you're belittling at the same time. It just, I don't understand it. I don't get it. I don't understand it. And let me tell you this, all the work of the black male scholars, T.S. Johnson, he said over and over and over and over again, because all you hear is this privilege that black men have and how we're oppressing women with our privilege. Dr. Johnson has talked about this ad nauseum. Over and over and over again on his timeline on Facebook, he puts out articles that demonstrates that women are just as capable of violence and maliciousness as men. That it's not just the province of men to be nasty and vicious and brutish and evil. Not that all women are evil. That's not the proclamation that he's making. He's just saying or demonstrating through evidence this happens. Why can't we accept that it happens? We're not calling women oppressors. We're not doing that. Black men are not saying women are oppressors. We're talking about black men who, along with black women, have undergone slavery, Jim Crow. We marched with each other during the civil rights movement. Black men and women were part of the Black Panther Party. They were both part of the Southern Leadership Christian Conference. They were both part or members of SNCC. We fought together. Then all of a sudden, there's separation of feminism. Who knows when it happens? But all of a sudden, black women decided we choose gender first. We choose gender first. Yeah, the white women are right. We are oppressed. We're invisible. Black men are oppressing us. Dr. Johnson points out over and over and over and over and over again, black men don't control any institutions that demonstrates empirically that they have the ability to oppress black women. Now let me get something straight here. Oppression in and of itself, if you want to define it philosophically, it's defined as an institutional or personal individual process where another person prevents some other person from being able to thrive, to function, to flourish. That's the textbook definition in philosophical circles about what oppression is. You oppress somebody, you prevent or take away their ability to flourish and to thrive. What institutions are black men in control of that prevent black women from being able to function, to flourish, and to thrive? Which ones? No market-based institutions. No educational institutions. No criminal or judicial institutions. What institutions are left? What institutions are left? that we can use to prevent Black women from functioning, flourishing, and thriving. Which ones? The family? What family? The ones that you get into and then you divorce us 80% of the time? The ones where you got single mothers who basically have matria potestas, complete power over the lives of children, where men are like uncle daddies who get to see their kids when the woman decides they get to see them. You mean those families? You talking about the church that Black men don't go to? Them pews filled with women, man. Black men ain't in the church. That's a female organization, man. That's a female institution. That's why Black men are not there. Because all the dude is doing in the pulpit is preacher pimping, trying to get money and tell people what they need to hear, get them caught up in ecstatic trance so they can go ahead and put some money in the collection plate. Let's keep it 100 with this, man. Let's just keep it 100. So no institutions are run and controlled by Black men that are able to give them privilege. What privilege? Let's talk about oppression. Alongside of oppression comes domination. The textbook definition of domination in philosophical circles is the ability to restrict a person's choices such that they can't self-determine. That is the textbook definition of what domination is. Being able to exclude choices from an individual such that if they wanted to make that choice, they couldn't make the choice. So if you got option A, B, and C, you can't choose option C if the dominator doesn't want you to choose it. So you mean to tell me Black men have the capacity to restrict Black women's choices? What choices? You mean like prevent them from being able to see their kids? Those kind of choices? Because the last time I checked, Black women had that power, not Black men. I'm just keeping it 100. See, we don't want to have a real conversation about these issues. All we want to talk about is how Black women are oppressed and dominated by Black men. No evidence, no empirical. The only thing you're left with is rape and violence. That's all you left with. I had Dr. Curry get on this channel to demonstrate that all of this domination and oppression business, without any institutional power at all, has to reside in the very notion or the idea that Black men are inherently or ontologically savage, man. That we have something pathological in us from birth. That there's something bad about men, especially Black men, just because we were born that way. This shit sounds eerily similar, Dr. Curry says, to subculture violence theory put forth by racist social scientific theorists. And that Black men somehow want to be like white men, and since they can't be like white men, they overcompensate by being violent. Nobody wants to talk about all the violence Black men get subjected to. Nobody wants to talk about it. We can't even discuss it. We can't even argue or even bring forth the point. Like it's a woman the other day, man, ran into a man with a car. His blood is spilling out on the asphalt. This woman gets a bumper from a car. or from the accident scene, takes the bumper and smashes the man with the bumper. That's evil, man. You mean this man is dead, almost on fighting for his life on the asphalt, and you're gonna put it out? And everybody's witnessing this, but we don't have the capacity to perceive that shit is evil? Thank you, brother T Fitness, for you. We don't even have the capacity to perceive that as evil. I'm not saying that men don't do evil shit. See, we already know men can do evil shit. But we seem to have a problem with being able to admit or to understand that women do evil shit also. And when they do it, women, the first thing they do, especially those who are of the feminist bent, the first thing they do, they start saying, what did he do? She must have had a reason. Ain't no woman gonna just do something like that for no reason. So you mean to tell me women can't just up and do some shit because they're angry when they shouldn't be angry? You mean to tell me women don't have it in them to try to coerce people or to try to punish people? You mean they don't have that capacity? They're so much full of sugar and spice and everything nice that it's not possible. It's not within the realm of possibility for women to do some evil shit. They know it's a lie. At some point, we got to contend with reality. I don't care how many misogynists I get called for this. I'm not saying all women are bad. Some women are awesome and stupendous and marvelous. Some of y'all some fucking assholes. And I guarantee you, you are more of an asshole when no one will confront you about your behavior. When no one will tell you you're wrong, you just do whatever the fuck you want to do. When no one is willing to point out your flaws at all, you commence to behaving like a tyrant. Black men who have gone through the same structural oppression and domination from the dominant white society all of a sudden now become oppressors to black women overnight, categorically because of some theorization from some white women and some black women who decide to follow them. All of the coalition building comes to a halt. Let me tell you something about oppression. Let me tell you something about it. See, when you start talking about oppression, when you start talking about it, I'm going to use a feminist philosopher to explain it. Now, there's a feminist philosopher by the name of Iris Marion Young. Very well renowned, very well respected. And she says that there are 5 faces of oppression. One of them is exploitation. One of them is marginalization. Another of them is cultural imperialism. Another is violence. And another one has to do with powerlessness. Let's talk about exploitation. Thank you, my brother Turf Orca. We talk about all the ways in which men exploit women. Over and over and over and over and over and over and over again, we hear the ways, and I see you, Brother Joe. I know you want to chime in, but I got to get this off my chest. We know all of the ways in which women are exploited by men. We hear it again and again and again and again and again and again. But have women ever been taught to think that maybe they're behaving in ways that exploit men? It just seems as if we don't have the capacity to see that there are ways in which men can be exploited. Like, for example, going out on a date that the woman has no intention of hooking up with you for real. She just wants a free meal. Or a woman who marries you and is with you for 20 years. Then all of a sudden, she has irreconcilable differences. She's just not in love anymore. And then she wants half of everything you earn, and she ain't worked a damn day in her life. Just out buying Birkin bags and shit. She deserves it. She was there. She did all that housework. If you were a rich woman living in a house with a multimillionaire, you think that woman's walking around the house doing housework, or is a maid doing the housework? We ain't even being real out here. And I don't have a problem with paying women alimony if she ain't worked ever a day in her life or don't have the capacity to work. But if that woman has the capacity to get out there and get it, she doesn't have to depend on a man. This is why there's a problem in this culture, man. We live in a situation in which there hasn't been a full transition or an adjustment to this new lifestyle where women are behaving and operating in the world of men, but at the same time want the privileges associated with womanhood, but they don't want the full responsibility of either role. Exploitation. Women exploit men all the time. They use them all the time. In a monkey branch from man to man, using man to man all the time. You want to talk about exploitation? And I'm not saying all women are exploitative, but I'm saying that there are conditions which obtain in which women have the ability to exploit men. That is oppressive. That prevents men from being able to function and flourish and thrive if you're taking them to the bank and using them because you have sexual power over them. Marginalization. The act of relegating or confining a group of people to a lower social standing or outer limit or edge of society. One area that it could be argued that men have been marginalized is in the family. The ability to have an impact or some power over their own kids. You talk about exploitation, you talk about marginalization, you talk about oppression. Come on now. The one thing that hurts and damages men the most, and children also, is men not being able to have an impact on their children's lives. You talk about marginalization, you talk about decentering, you talk about being left out, pushing somebody to the periphery. Are you serious? See, we're going to talk about oppression today. The various ways in which men can be oppressed. And I'm not saying all women do this, but you dominate and oppress when you have the capacity to take the choice away. Remember, the textbook definition of domination means removing a choice from a person and removing it from an option, a set of options that that person could undertake. Now, do men have the capacity to dominate related to the family like women do? No. And you oppress a man to the extent to which you leave him bereft of the capacity to have an impact and an influence on his children. Because I can tell you this, at the end of the day, children are real. Society is a construction. It's an artifice. That's why they call it the arts and sciences. They're human fabrications. They vary from culture to culture, what's considered art and science. These are things we make up. They're artifices. But what's real is children. You think it ain't heart-wrenching for a man to not be able to take care of his children, and he wants to, and there's women using children as bargaining chips and calling the police on men over silly-ass reasons? But see, we don't want to talk about that. We don't want to have a discussion about that. All we're going to talk about is rape and domestic violence. But you don't want to talk about oppression and the full gamut of it, now do you? And I don't want to hear about what white men doing to y'all. Men who are black do not run the judicial system, the criminal justice system, or the police force system. We don't run it. We don't run the educational system or the commerce industry. None of it. We don't run the church or the family. We don't run the church or the family. Because I'm going to tell you, the people sitting in the pews run the church. And if that preacher doesn't say what them women want him to say, that preacher's gone. With the wind. See, you wouldn't want to be you. Let the doorknob hit you where the good Lord split you. I'll holler. Shit, now you got women in the pulpit. Am I lying or am I lying? Joe, I got to get this off my chest, bro. I'm going to let you in, but I got to get it off my chest. It's nothing more painful than for a man not to be able to have an impact on his children's lives. And these women, sometimes they are so dominating and oppressive that it hurts the children. Because we all know that the likelihood of a child that's born into a broken family with a single parent, they have a higher likelihood of doing worse off in every major index of well-being in their lives. And what the fuck happens? You ain't gonna tell me what to do. I'm a good mom. And you spending all your time working, and the kid is left for themselves. They latchkey kids. Latchkey kids. And then you wonder where they go wrong at. And a lot of y'all ain't even got good sense to give them to their daddies. When they turn 14, 15, you done alienated and marginalized the man so much and told him he wasn't necessary. I got this. I got this. By the time that boy reaches 13, 14, 15, 16, you don't know what the fuck to do with him. Now he becomes the oppressor again. Just like his daddy can't stand that little nigga. You want to know what it's like to feel powerless? That's how y'all feel as women, powerless? The ability to remove a man from the family situation anytime you get good and ready, that is power. That is power. That's the ultimate form of power. That's biopower. We talked about violence. We talk about violence all the time. We talk about violence all the time. We talk about violence. I've already spoken about this issue. We've already had a conversation about this issue. You can look on my channel again and again and again and again and again. 84% of relationships are nonviolent. 80%, 84%. Most relationships that Black women are in are non-violent. Get it? And in those that are violent, the 16 or 20%, somewhere the variance, there's always variance in populations when you're talking about a study on a demographic. But in those relationships that are violent, 54% of the violence is multi-directional, bivalent, bidirectional, meaning the men and the women are being abusive to each other. They're being abusive to each other. In situations in which the violence is unidirectional, women are the ones that are violent 70% of the time, man. 70% of the time, women are the ones that are violent in unidirectional relationships. It's a Harvard study done in 2007. I will provide the evidence in the link. But here comes the kicker. And this is the last thing I'm going to talk about related to oppression, since we want to talk about how Black women are oppressed. See, it takes two people to have a dialogue. I have yet to hear a woman actually engage in dialogue with a man and listen to what we have in relation to problems with Black women. They don't want to solve the problems, a lot of them. But the last form of oppression that I want to talk about is cultural imperialism. Now, one typically thinks about cultural imperialism as a form of oppression that the dominant culture impresses upon subgroups within the culture. Like, for example, white is good, white beauty standards are better, white intellectual enterprises are the most, advanced kind. But cultural imperialism also has to do with the ability to manage your image in the public or the civil sphere. The ability to control the way your image is managed in the public sphere. Now, Black women have argued about this over and over and over again. We don't want to be perceived as mammies. We don't want to be perceived as Jezebels and Sapphires. But what is the prevailing image of Black men in the popular culture? Thugs, criminals, rapists, wife beaters. And every time you even at a rally, over Black life, and that's the shit that you're going to talk about. How Black men are rapists, thugs, violent killers. They need to be put down like rabid dogs. Lock them niggas up. Them niggas are trash. I don't need to be, I'm tired of them. Now, we don't need to be loyal to them. What's the point of being loyal to them? You've been having your knee on our necks, and you won't admit it. This is where we have a disconnect. This is the problem. We can't even move forward together on racial issues because they all come back down to these gender issues. And we never are able to have a candid and upfront conversation about how we feel. We have feelings too, damn it. This is why black men are depressed. Black men are being subjected to suicide. Black men have feelings of hopelessness, even when they are successful. There's no debate, no dialogue, no seeking for understanding, just a continuous browbeating. You are a beater, a rapist, and a criminal. That's all we get again and again and again. And while you supposedly stepping up to help us, the first thing that comes out of your mouth is, why should we be loyal to you? You need to be pushed to the periphery. We need to be able to step up. We're not seen. Even while our corpses lay on the fucking concrete. Thank you, prisoner. Thank you, Prisor. In order to be able to survive with the strictures that we're living under, man, we got to be the strongest of the strong. We still survive. We still do the best we can. We still are making it, despite everybody being against us. So they can call us as weak as they want to call us. They can laugh at us as much as they want to, but they're aiding into their own destruction, the destruction of their own race. You got to tell me, how can you tell me? If you got complete control over the family, almost domination over the family, what kind of men are you raising? Thank you, Firebrand Central. What kind of men are you raising? You're socializing the kind of men that you want. You are the ones teaching them. You're the one instilling values. But you're not instilling values of dignity and self-respect, and that you can become a warrior and that you can be the salvation of us. You keep telling us we're oppressors. We look at you as some strange creatures. You tell us we want to be white. We want to be just like white men. But you motherfuckers out dying and frying your fucking hair to look like these white bitches, man. You say, we say you ugly, but you look in the mirror and you hate your own natural condition. And you tell us it's our fault. We don't like dark-skinned women. All a black man wants is a woman to treat him with some fucking respect. Some respect. Some goddamned motherfucking respect. It is oppression to consistently be told over and over and over and over and over again that you are the problem. That is tormenting. It's tormenting. It's like being hit with a tongue over and over and over and over and over again, and you're not good enough. You can't make it. You don't cut the mustard. You ain't no real man. I done told women, you're beautiful as you are. You don't need to do all that shit to your head. Oh, you just saying that because you want me to be looking ugly out here. Well, go ahead and fuck them other niggas on that monkey branch and bullshit you on then. You can't even pay a woman a compliment without her paying you a disservice back by saying you trying to take off the marketplace a dick swinging. I ain't come to play today, man. I came to tell the truth, man. Black men are tired of this bullshit, this duplicity, this gaslighting, this constant disparaging over and over and over again. It's like going home and hearing your wife nag at you again and 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 again. You just come home. You don't even want to be in that bitch. Then you know why you want to know why your man out fucking some other woman. Because you refuse to respect him. Then when he is in the home, you make the man a ConcuSurf while he's in the house. You try to outwit him, you try to out-emote him, you try to out-emote him, and you try to put him into a physical bind. You're killing us. Because you can kill a man's spirit and leave his body alive. Thank you, brother Dennis Spurning. I appreciate it. I don't ever want to see black women hurt. I don't. But you got to understand that you hurt us just as much as you say we hurt you. God damn it, and we ain't John Henry. We're human beings. And if what Megan Thee Stallion is saying initially in the video, if she tried to protect that brother, I don't know what happened. I applaud her for trying to protect that man. But look, we know you got a history, young lady. We know we done already heard you on other videos talk about you got an attitude, you got an anger problem. You got an attitude problem. We done heard you say it, lady. You 24 years old. We done heard you say it. We heard you say it. We heard you say you done went upside niggas' heads before. So why would we not think that you might have done it? We're not saying you did do it, but we saying you might have done it. I ain't never seen a man just take a gun and pull it out and shoot nobody if he ain't got beef with that motherfucker. Never in my life have I seen a man take out a gun and just haphazardly shoot somebody. I haven't seen it. I just want some answers. And you got a lot of men out here, the first thing they do is they put on the Captain Save-A-Hole cape. You're not saving women by just being able to let them do whatever they want to do and they complain and complain and complain. That's not empowering women. That's not even keeping women safe. You saw the video where it was a woman that went up to a white man and told him she was gonna whip his ass. Then his wife took out a gun and pointed it in her face and said, "Get the fuck back, bitch." See, people will pull your cords out here. If you act tough, you gotta be tough. Because somebody's gonna pull you on that energy. Somebody's gonna confront you with the energy you put out here. It's called karma. It's called reciprocity. It's called tit for tat. You act tough, you gotta be tough. Because somebody's gonna actually pull the cord. You're out here masquerading around like you're masculine, but you're not men. Man, Jesus Christ, hallelujah, man. Somebody please, man. My goodness gracious, God damn. You can't walk around here saying you're gonna whip niggas' ass. You can't say that. All men know this is a farce. You can't protect us. We already know you can't protect us from these white devils out here, man. We know it. The only way you can protect us is by other men's refusal to harm you. That's it. That's the only reason you can serve as a barricade, because you know you can't overpower no other man. You know it. I done whipped myself up into a frenzy, man. I'm going to leave this link in this chat, man. If any of y'all got something to say, I'm going to give you 30 minutes to say it, and then I'm going to duck off of here, man. I done worked myself into a frenzy, you know. And look, I love black women, but y'all got to be accountable. There's nothing in my life that I find more attractive and more appealing to me than a black woman, but y'all got to get y'all motherfucking shit together. God damn it. You can't keep disparaging people and talking bad about people and putting their business out in the street and acting like you out here protecting us. You out here proliferating the imagery of the black male savage. When I tell you, man, I feel like I'm a preacher here, sitting here, man, in this hot ass room. I'm sweating like a damn preacher, man. I wish somebody had an organ for me right now. Jesus Christ, man. Top Dog, welcome to the screen, man. How you doing, man?
Hey, I'm doing good. How are you? Thank you for letting me get on your platform. I've been watching the clouds for a good minute now, and I really like your content.
Thank you, sir.
I just wanted to ask one question, and then I gotta drop off. I wanted to ask, like, do you think with these type of problems that we have, like the dynamic between black men and black women, do you think, you know, like it can actually get better than it is?
Brother, you know, I can't predict the future. I'm not a prophet. But what I can say is it ain't going to get better without the truth being told. And I can tell you this, it never will get better if men just stay quiet and continue to be gaslit and continue to reiterate the same old nonsense again and again and again. That ain't going to work. We got to tell the truth. And we got to be able to stick together, and we got to be able to endure this pain and tell each other the stories and to make sense of it and to take the fog over our eyes and realize that we have dignity too. We are respectable too. We have pride too. Our life should not be in service to others other than those who respect us.
Exactly. And I see this all the time, and I completely understand, because like I see different posts on Facebook, and it's like black women, they tend to say very misandry things about black men in general, and then when we try to criticize them, or when we try to tell them that it's wrong, they always use the excuse of, oh, black men, they have the patriarchy and patriarchy. I'm like, when did black men ever have the power to oppress y'all? Like, we never really had the power to oppress them, so I don't know why they keep using that talking point like they're white feminists. But
they've been indoctrinated, and it is a way to oppress. You are being gaslit and you're being oppressed. And your women are working in the service of the oppressor to oppress you further. I am not going to lie about this. This is the truth in my vision. Now, I know that there are black men who do harm to black women, and I'm sorry for that. And any harm I may have ever brought to a black woman, I apologize for that. But God damn it, they harm us too. And until they are able to come to terms with the fact that they have the power to harm us and that they wield it and they use the state against us, until they begin to actually admit that shit, they're behaving like the white man. They ain't no different than a fucking white man. I'm sorry.
But thank you for letting me on, and I gotta hop off. But I'm kind of mildly new to this space. I've been in for like 6 months now, and just thanks a lot, man.
You're a young brother, man. We want you to avoid the pitfalls we have fallen into. You do not have to retrace our steps. You have the capacity to learn from people who have made these mistakes before. And so you will not have to make them. Keep your dignity, preserve your pride, work for your self-interest. And if you find somebody you can work with, vet them thoroughly. Do not allow yourself to be exploited. Do not allow yourself to be marginalized. Do not allow yourself to be subjected to violence or to derision. Don't let somebody browbeat you on your imagery. Don't render yourself powerless. Those are the words of advice I have for you. And you can listen to this podcast again or this stream again, and you can hear that. Don't allow yourself to be oppressed. Don't allow yourself to be dominated.
Thank you very much.
And thank you for coming in, brother.
Yes,
farewell, man.
Farewell to you.
Is there anybody else who would like to step up and say something? Brother Johnson, I'll see you up in this joint, man. And thank you, brother, from the Roger Report. I really appreciate it. I really appreciate it. See, we've come to a time when being quiet is not enough. Being idle is not enough. You know, one thing I know about standpoint theory is that women aren't the only people with a standpoint. They're not the only person with a perspective. They're not the only person who have situated knowledge. We also have knowledge about our own condition. We know how we feel. We know something's amiss. We know something's awry. We know this. I got to let my brother Mike speak. Brother Mike, welcome to the stream. How are you doing, sir?
Thank you, Gregory. I'm calling you from Europe right now, and I appreciate your content. What I want to say first is I can feel that you're speaking with your heart here, and that's very important. That these people in the chat, people listening, understand where we're coming from. I'm just going to tell you something. The reason why I love black women, but I can't work with them. I cannot work with them because I don't have time for all this bullshit all around. So what do I do in Europe? Minority. I grew up in Switzerland. I'm a black man, Latino black man. I'm black before being Latino, to be honest with you, because we all know how it works in Cuba, how it works in Latin America. You're black first, right?
Right.
So I cannot work with that. I met this girl, 38, nice girl, looking good. First thing she goes like, "Oh yeah, how many white women have you been? You look." Oh no, what she say? You look like a guy who actually would date white women. And I'm like, what kind of introduction is that? I'm talking to you right now, so I'm like, I don't have time for this bullshit. So it's always the same thing.
You know what, brother?
Tell me, sir.
All black women are not the same, so I'm not lumping all black women into one category.
I understand that.
Nowadays, though, I love black women also, but I'm tired of the bullshit just like you're tired of the bullshit. And it's one thing to encounter this phenomenon here and there. And I'm not, most of my experiences with black women have not been unpleasant, but a few of them have. And those few have been enough to make my life a living hell. It has been enough for me not to fall into those pitfalls again. I will not fall or go into the quicksand again, my brother. I will not. Keep your head about you. And you know what? If you want to date a white woman, if you want to date a green woman, God damn it, that's your business. You hear me? You hear me, Mike?
Gotcha.
You can date whoever
Appreciate
you
that.
want to, and don't let nobody tell you any differently. And that's
Yeah, but the thing is,
the gospel truth on that. And don't let anybody shame you into doing what they feel like you ought to be doing.
oh yeah, that's too late for me, because honestly, when I look around, you just want to have a nice person next to you. I have other things to do than having all this bullshit. You're meant to understand us because we look the same, but guess what? It seems like the others make more effort to understand us than yourself, someone who looks like you. So it's just that, a lot of times. So you're here, you find Asian as in Indian women here, who, in, who basically are the closest to us now, black people here in the UK or in Switzerland, wherever, because they're making the effort to try to understand you. They got their own bullshit. Don't get me wrong, right? I'm not trying to, making these women better than the others, but this code that they have in their family, it's very easy for me to say when I date an Asian girl, I'm going to tell her, listen, if it doesn't work, I'm going to have to talk to you people. She scares because there's a code in the family because their family are straight. She's literally scared, like, okay, let's talk and let's try to arrange it between
Hey,
us.
man,
This is the things that I don't get.
well, you know what, brother Mike, man, date who respects you, date who shows you dignity, and date who extends themselves to you. And it's reciprocity within the context of the relationship,
Okay.
whether they're black, white, yellow, brown, red, purple, or yellow. But I'm gonna have to let you go, brother. I got somebody else who
Thank you,
wants to
sir.
come in. Thank you so much for joining me on the Green Gorilla channel.
Cheers. Bye bye.
Brother Black saying, I would like to thank you for the donation, my brother. I really appreciate it. Brother Herb Saint, would you like to put in a good word?
What's up, brother? What's up, brother? Thank you for bringing me in.
Oh, you're welcome, man. Thank you for joining me today.
Yeah, it also bless your cash app, and I suggest any other brothers that's listening, like I do, hey man, drop what you can, man. Cause we did this. You're like a unicorn out here in YouTube land, bro. Not too many of y'all talking is fire. So, and speaking the truth and about black men and the stuff we deal with. But I wanted to tell you about an incident, man, yesterday at the barbershop.
Okay.
They had the sister walk in with a little 3-year-old young girl, about in the late 20s. So she goes and sit down in the chair of her brother. He was incarcerated, but he an upbeat brother, high on life,
Right.
happy to be free and working legal,
Right.
So the sister go down, she sit down, her son gets in the chair, and she go to cutting. The child not acting up, he's doing good, and she starts getting upset. He said, "What's wrong, baby?" She said, she points to another chair. She said, "I want my son hair like that." He said, "Well, you said," and she's starting to get agitated at this point, right?
Okay.
And he's like, "Well, hold on." He's calming her down, talking to her. He said, "Hold on, sister." He said, "Look, this you said you wanted a light fade." He said, "What that kid has is what we call an all even." She still started getting upset. He said, "Look, you look like your nerves bad, sister. What's the problem?" She was like, "Well, that's what I wanted," and blah blah. He said, "Look, we can work on that. We can touch it up." But he said, "You just said the wrong thing." He said, "Let me educate you. That's not what that's called." And as I'm watching his brother talk this sister down, I'm thinking in my head, man, somebody got to deal with that at home.
Hey, man.
And where,
Yeah.
man.
But you know what, man? I think that, black people are on edge all across the board. But women need to be careful with how they come to men. They feel like they have a pass to be aggressive. And it's primarily because men do not want to see women be visited with harm. But right now, I think the women have been enculturated to be aggressive, to be disrespectful, and to be antagonistic towards men. And at some point, they need to have some home training. And if they can't get it at home, it's gonna be us that have to train them. You know what I'm saying? And brother Irv saying it sound like you from the New Orleans, yeah.
Yeah, man. I know you said you spent some time down here.
Yeah, I know in New Orleans. When I hear it, what ward you from, bro?
I'm from 7th Ward. 7th Ward. That's where the good cooking from, them yellow bones in the 7th Ward. The big thick fine.
I used to live off of Iberville when I went to Xavier University, and then I got some people like that used to live on Duplessis, and they lived on another street. What's the name of that street? Bruxelles Street.
Oh yeah, Bruxelles. Yeah, that's 7th Ward. That's 7th Ward.
Yeah, right around the Popeyes and shit.
That's right. That's it. That's it. Right there. Yeah.
Well, look here, little daddy. I'm gonna holler at you later, man. Thank you for
all right, Doc. Appreciate you.
I appreciate you, brother. Silent Lamont, I want to thank you for the donation, my brother. Thank you. Really, I really appreciate it. My brother Heru, how you doing, brother? How you? Brother Heru, are you there?
Yeah, I'm sorry about that. I had to unmute my mic. I'm doing fine, brother.
What's going on?
Oh, I'm good. I just wanted to say real quick, not to be too long. I was listening to what you were saying about the division between black men and black women and them fight for us. I just want to say that, man, this American culture, I think, has done a lot of harm to ADOS people. You know, we don't have our culture like that, customs, everything's just dysfunctional. Hood culture is passed off as black culture. I don't know, man. Just holler at me, man. Holler at me.
Yeah, you know that. That is true. That is true, man. You gotta cut your rating. Can you gotta cut? You gotta cut.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, if you don't cut the YouTube off, if you don't go strictly through are you there? Oh, he's gone. Roger Report, are you still there, man? I would like to get your good word in. I'm so very sorry that I couldn't get you exactly in when you wanted to get put in, but I would like to speak with you. I know you have a show, and I know that you have some good input to put in. And I also want to give you another shout out for what you've done in the super chat. Here we go, my brother. Brother Roger Report, how are you doing, sir? Brother Roger Report, can you hear me?
Yeah, yes. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. I can hear you now, brother. Please give us the good word.
Okay, just real quickly. I mean, for brothers, we have this thing where we love our sisters, and because we know how the country is, we do try to be protective of them. But unfortunately, we're trying to protect them to our own demise. You know, I say on a regular basis that they're just not good people. That's just the way they are, and it's their choice. But we try to give so many reasons behind the bad decisions they make, and we just don't hold them accountable the way we need to. The greater society is not going to do it. White folks are never going to give them the same type of prison sentences for us if they commit a crime against us. If you know what I'm saying, that the brother who just recently was ran over by a car because some girlfriend or something was mad, talking about an 18-year relationship. She hits him with a car. I'm sure her charges will now have to change because the man died, from what I heard. But at first, all they did was just hit her with an assault charge. You know, the society we live in encourages people to harm black men because most people will not be really held accountable unless you're another black man. You're another black man, you got a whole different set of circumstances to worry about. But we can't expect women to be better if we're not going to even hold them accountable ourselves. The white community really is not going to do it. No one else is really going to do it because they don't interact with them the way that we do. So if we don't really hold them accountable for their behaviors and the things that they do, there's no reason for them to treat us with respect, and there's no reason for them to, even treat us like humans. We have to do that ourselves. And even with people not even liking the fact that I just simply say that they're just not good people, people get mad at me for saying it when all the evidence points in that direction. And they say, oh, well, you being mad or, misogynist or something wrong with me because I'm sitting here looking at circumstances. And if we look at how they act as a mass, there's no way to see this behavior and just say they're good. I don't see it. Other people may see it that way, but there's no way for me to deem a person is good if you go around trying to harm and hurt other people whenever you feel like it. It just doesn't make sense to me.
You know,
we're gonna have to hold them accountable.
I to some extent I agree with you. I just feel like when you give people complete power to control your another set of people of your own race in terms of their imagery, when you have power to dominate them with the family and to marginalize them within the context of the family, when you have the power to exploit, when you have the power to subject them to violence, when you have the power to berate and to deride them, and everybody is supporting that, you got a recipe for disaster. And I'm gonna tell you this, they're raising another crop of young black boys, and there's nothing that black men can do in relation to state power to intervene. So we're in a lot of trouble, my brother. But hopefully one day these women will come to their senses, man, because without black men, they're raising a group of children who will be dysfunctional, and they don't even care about it. I think they're operating with their newfound freedom and the power that they've been allotted by the state and by the society that they contemporarily live in. And I think they're operating with their emotions and with their gonads. And at some point, they got to wake up and smell the coffee. But you know what? While they doing it, I'm going to keep on trucking like that one song say. You feel me? Would you like to give a shout out and tell people how to get on access to your channel and your content?
Oh, okay. Sure. I have two channels. I have the Roger Report where I do solo commentary now, and I do the Roger Report Live, which I'm moving to Monday through Fridays, like 10 a.m. Central Time, because I live in Chicago. So if anyone wants to join, that'll be the place to join the conversation. Appreciate you allowing me to come on. Take care, brother.
Take care, brother, and thank you as well. So, to sum up everything I've been saying thus far, look, my mother was a black woman. My grandmother was a black woman. I have black daughters. I have black cousins, all girls, and I love them. The problems that I've been having with women have not been women that I have acquaintances with and not involved in intimate relations with. Those are the women who have been the problem for me. The women I've been involved in intimate relationships with. All these other women, although they talk all this talk, they don't bother me because I'm not enamored with them and I don't have any interactions with them that are inappropriate. I just don't put myself in those kinds of traps. If we cool, I'm gonna treat you like a dude. We can talk about anything. If you make me bite my tongue in order to be civil so that I don't get to the truth, I don't want to have nothing to do with you. Because I'm gonna keep it real with you. Male or female, black or white, feminist, or whatever kind of political orientation you have. That's just how I roll. I've been rolling like that. However, when it comes to this situation about shaming black men and asking what is the reason to be loyal to these men? Because they ain't about nothing. They don't step up for us. It's kind of hard to step up for people when you're constantly deriding them, when you're constantly being despicable, when you constantly have an attitude, and when you constantly are being combative and uncooperative. It's very difficult to step up to the bat for somebody who doesn't appreciate your presence when it's right there in your face. You get what you ask for, you get what you wish for. I want to say to all you brothers out there, don't allow yourself to be gaslit. You have innate dignity. You have a voice. I don't care how I'm going to get labeled or branded. I don't want to see anybody in the black community get hurt. But if we want to mitigate the violence, if we want to mitigate the conflict, we have to do so by means of telling the truth, the whole truth and nothing but the truth. And the truth of the matter is, just because you have a uterus and a vagina does not mean that you are innately more morally gifted or superior than a person who was born with testicles and a penis. And that's just how I roll. Anybody has the capacity to exhibit evil. Understand your historical circumstances. You know what black men have been through in the context of this country. And if you want to aid and abet the dominant society in our destruction, well, you're an enemy too. And that's just how it is. And it don't matter if you're black, white, red, brown, purple, and yellow. If you seek to undermine men or if you seek to undermine women, just in virtue of the fact that you don't want to see them rise. I don't have that mentality or ideal. But damn it, you're going to respect me. You ain't going to deride me on your way to the top. Fuck that. I'm not going to harm you. All I'm asking for is a little re, like Aretha say. So, having said all that, my brothers, thank you very much for the donations. Thank you very much for joining me. I wish you peace and I wish you success. I'm about this thing, man. One.